Classic. Did you say College Classic campuses? Well, sure you did. Hi, I'm TcYbarra. This is College Classic campuses. Coronavirus. Sheriff Coronavirus. It's terrible, I tell you. It's not really the Sheriff Coronavirus. But we're going to blame him anyway. Is that all right with you guys? You guys down with that? I'm down with that. Okay, let's get this mask off. God bless you for reading Book of Mormon. Thank you, Lord God Almighty, for Book of Mormon as we enjoy. We're going to read 5 pages of Book of Mormon because it's chapter 5. Behold, my brethren, do ye not remember ye have read the words of the prophet Zenos, which he spake unto the house of Israel, saying, Hearken ye, O ye house of Israel, and hear the words of me. Me? Yeah. Hear the words of me, a prophet of the Lord. Wow. Hearken, hearken, hark, hark, hark. And for behold, thus saith the Lord, I will liken thee, O house of Israel, like unto a tame olive tree. A tame olive tree. Tame. Okay. A tame olive tree is okay, you have wild olives and all that stuff. This one's not a wild olive tree. It may not be a virgin then? No. Okay. I will liken you unto a tame olive tree, which a man took and nourished in his vineyard, and it grew and waxed old and began to decay. And it came to pass that the master of the vineyard went forth, and he saw that his olive tree began to decay, and he said, I will prune it and dig about it and nourish it. Maybe he should graft it, that perhaps it may shoot forth young and tender branches, and it perish not. And it came to pass that he pruned it and digged it about it and nourished it according to his word. And it came to pass that after many days it began to put forth somewhat a little young and tender branches, but behold, the main top thereof began to perish. Why? And it came to pass that the master of the vineyard saw it, and he said unto his servant, It grieveth me that I should lose this tree, wherefore go and pluck the branches from a wild olive tree, and bring them hither unto me, and we will pluck off those main branches which are beginning to wither away, and we will cast them into the fire, that they may be burned. Okay, a wild, it's, in those days, they had a lot of olive trees, right? This one he put in his vineyard. He got close. He was going to nourish this olive tree so he can have personal oil, not what the young men get or anyone else gets in the olive fields there. Those are wild. Those grow on their own and do whatever they want. This one here, it's going to be in his backyard. He's going to watch it. He's going to nourish it. Okay, he has a bunch of trees, but this particular tree here, he's going to put his eyes upon it and feast his eyes on it. So he's going to nurture it. Well, he's got his eyes on it. He's nurturing it. And somebody is messing around. So he's going to burn them. He's going to protect this tree. And behold, thus saith the Lord of the vineyard, I take away many of these young and tender branches, and I will graft them whithersoever I will. And it mattereth not that if it so be that the root of the tree will perish, I may preserve the fruit thereof unto myself. Wherefore I will take these young and tender branches, and I will graft them whithersoever I will. So he is going to graft them. That's a good idea. I would do that too. Okay, what he's going to do is he's going to plant another tree, a wild tree, next to the one that he has. Okay, eventually that tree's not going to be wild anymore. But for the meantime, while it's growing, he's going to pull this tree out, and he's going to replant it next to his tree. So it's a wild tree. And you can do that. Remember, these are olive branch trees. But he's going to get it. And he's going to replant it. And he's going to wait. This can take a couple of years. So now, it's shooting out tender branches. But he wants this. This is what he wants. Now, usually these are rich trees, the wild ones. Yes, they're very abundant. Yes. They've been left to grow as they will. That's interesting. It's very interesting. A lot of people don't know this, but if you get one of these olives, they're, they're not dried out. They're very moist. They look like they don't. That's a dried out olive. I don't know. You got me out. That wasn't no, it wasn't dried out olive. That's a very good olive. Okay, he's having trouble with this tree though, not those trees. Why is he having trouble with this tree? Well, let's find out. The tree is no good. We're going to throw it. If not, we're going to toss this tree into the fire. It's going to burn. I grasp them whithersoever I will, and it mattereth not that if it so be that the root of this tree will perish, I may preserve the fruit thereof unto myself. And wherefore I will take these young and tender branches, and I will graft them whithersoever I will. So, yes, it dies, it dies. I have other trees, but I've chosen this tree for my particular tree. And take thou the branches of the wild olive tree, and graft them in the stead thereof, and these which I have plucked off will I cast into the fire and burn them, that they may not cumber the ground of my vineyard. Okay, so he doesn't. You know what cumber means? Yeah, let's find out what it means. Cumber. Cumber. You don't want me to do this? Okay. You can do that, but I would ask you to lay out. It's cumber is to hinder. It's dated, to date. You know how that date farm owned by the Sniffs, they were charging too much for their dates? In other words, you know what a date is? They're very good. They're very chewy. They're very moist. And if they're dated just right, they're delicious. They're dating these olives like you would raisin. Right. Now, when you chew into a dried out raisin, it ain't no good, no. But if you chew into a chewy raisin and it's moist, they're delicious. They're sweet. They're good. Now, what about the olive? You're going to taste the oil. You're going to get the oil. You're going to get an anointing. It's a very important anointing, too, as to for what you to understand how important this is. This is very important. So, these will cumber. You really don't want this because they'll dry out. You don't want that. You don't want that. It's not something that you want because okay, like right now, I can go out in my backyard. There's an orange tree, right? There's a lemon tree, and there's a grapefruit tree. The grapefruits, just before they fall to the ground, they dry out. The lemons too, but not the oranges. My oranges are falling to the ground before they're still orange. Only a few are dried out. Most are very healthy. Now, both trees are not being nurtured by the owners of those trees because we share the 3 trees. Right? I live in a mobile home park. Now, I tried to water his tree, the next door neighbor, and he tells me, don't. I'll do it. He never does. It's screaming for water. So I shoot over the tree that's in the backyard. It's a big bush to get water to the grapefruit because my dad likes grapefruit and they don't mind. So I water their tree. He didn't like me watering his tree. These trees can be grafted. All of them. By the roots, yes. And it came to pass that the servants of the Lord of the vineyard did according to the word of the Lord of the vineyard. Oh, this is a really good story. You're going to like this story. This story you'll remember from some of the stories of the Book of Mormon, this will be one you remember. And grafted in the branches of the wild olive tree. And the Lord of the vineyard caused that it should be digged about and pruned and nourished, saying unto his servant, agree with me that I should lose this tree, wherefore that perhaps I might preserve the roots thereof, that they perish not, that I might preserve them unto myself. I have done this thing. And wherefore go thy way, watch the tree, and nourish it according to thy words. And these will I place in the nethermost part of my vineyard, whithersoever I will. It mattereth not unto thee, and I do it that I may preserve unto myself the natural branches of the tree, and also that I may lay up fruit thereof against the season unto myself. For it grieveth me that I should lose this tree and the fruit thereof. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard went his way and hid the natural branches of the tame olive tree in the hithermost parts of the vineyard, and some in one and some in another, according to his will and pleasure. And it came to pass that a long time passed away, and the Lord of the vineyard said unto his servant, come, let us go down into the vineyard, that we may labor in the vineyard. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard and also the servant went down into the vineyard of the labor. And it came to pass that the servant came and said unto his master, behold, look here, behold the tree. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard looked, and behold, and beheld the tree in the which the wild olive branches had been grafted, and it had sprung forth and begun to bear fruit. And he beheld that it was good, and the fruit thereof was like unto the natural fruit. And he said unto the servant, behold, the branches of the wild tree have taken hold of the moisture of the root thereof, that the root thereof hath brought forth much strength. And because of the much strength of the root thereof of the wild branches have brought forth tame fruit. Now, if we have not grafted in these branches, the tree thereof would have perished. And now behold, I shall lay up much fruit, which the tree thereof hath brought forth, and the fruit thereof I shall lay up against the season unto mine own self. So they're saving the tree. The tree needed another. Right? But the owner set the tree by itself. Rather than the owner kill the tree, he gave the tree another. Now, he gave it a wild branch. And remember, in the wilderness, Saul's son ate wild honey. It helped him to see. What did he see? He saw the truth. He saw the truth about the enemy. Right. Why did he see the truth about the enemy? Because the enemy were their friends. The enemy were people that they knew. The enemy was an acquaintance. The enemy was something connected to them. Right. And he was an eater, right? Yes, he was an eater. They weren't supposed to eat, though. You did anyway. Wow. Yes. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard went his way. So, now, and he said unto the servant, behold, the branches of the wild tree have taken hold. Okay, so what happened here? They left an open spot, right? They left an open spot as they do so that they can witness the branches taking hold of each other. That means we ever see the trenches around the area here where all these trees are at, where the farmers are. They leave open trenched areas, and you can see the roots grabbing each other, passing each other. These ones grabbed each other, they took hold of each other. And this is something we should all be able to relate to. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, come, let us go to the othermost part of the vineyard. And behold, if the natural branches of the tree have not brought forth much fruit also, that I may lay up of the fruit thereof against the season unto mine own self. And it came to pass that They went forth with her. The master had hid the natural branches of the tree, and he said unto the servant, Behold these. And he beheld the first, and it had brought forth much fruit. And he beheld also it was good. And he also said unto the servant, Take of the fruit thereof, and lay it up against the season, that I may preserve it unto mine own self. For behold, he said, This long time have I nourished it, and it hath brought forth much fruit. Okay, so right now, this is what we're studying. We're not studying that right now, okay? You might be, but right now what we're doing is something else. I hope you don't mind. And it came to pass that the servant said unto his master, How comest thou hither to plant this tree? For behold, it was the poorest spot in all the land of the vineyard. And the Lord of the vineyard said unto him, Counsel me not. I knew that it was a poor spot of the ground. Wherefore I said unto thee, I have nourished it this long time, and now beholdest that it hath brought forth much fruit. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto his servant, Look hither, behold, I have planted another branch of the tree also, and thou knowest that this spot of the ground was poorer than the first. But behold, the tree I have nourished if this long time, and it hath brought forth much fruit. Therefore gather it, and lay it up against the season, that I may preserve it unto mine own self. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said again unto his servant, Look hither, and behold, another branch also which I have planted. Behold, that I have nourished it also, and it hath brought forth fruit. So the branches are catching, and they're bringing forth. Okay, weren't they doing that in the first place? Yes. What kind of fruit are we looking at now? What kind of olive tree are we looking at? Because right now, if I go out to the lemon tree and I look at the little itty bitty lemons on this side, they're dying. But on the certain branches, there's big fat lemons. Because I just want to unpluck some lemon for this drink I have here. There's some big fat round ones, and there's some ugly little ones, and they're dying. What's going on here? I'll explain that to you just as soon as we're done. And they came to the tree whose natural branches had been broken off, and the wild branches had been grafted in. And behold, all sorts of fruit did cumber the tree. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard did taste of the fruit, every sort according to its number. And the Lord of the vineyard said, Behold, this long time have we nourished this tree, and I have laid up unto myself against the season much fruit. But behold, this time it hath brought forth much fruit, and there is none of it which is good. And behold, there are all kinds of bad fruit, and it profiteth me nothing. Notwithstanding, all one labor, and now it grieveth me that I should lose this tree. And the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, What shall we do unto the tree, that I may preserve again good fruit thereof unto mine own self? And the servant said unto his master, Behold, because thou didst graft in the branches of the tree, the wild olive tree, they have nourished the roots, and they are alive, and they have not perished. Therefore thou beholdest that they are yet good. And it came to pass that one of the vineyard said unto his servant, The tree profiteth me nothing, and the roots thereof profit me nothing, so long as it bring forth evil fruit. Okay, that's what's going on. Okay, it's bringing. He calls it evil because he can't eat it. He can't eat this fruit. It's got to be evil. I eat it. This you, that guy. This is bringing forth evil fruit. Nevertheless, I know that the roots are good. For my own purpose, I have preserved them. And because of their much strength, they have hitherto brought forth from the wild branches good fruit. But behold, the wild branches have grown and have overrun the roots thereof, And because that of the wild branches have overgrown the roots thereof, it hath brought forth much evil fruit. And because that it hath brought forth so much evil fruit, thou beholdest that it beginneth to perish, and it will soon become ripened, that it may be cast into the fire, except we should do something for it to preserve it. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto his servants, let us go down into the nethermost parts of the vineyard, and behold, if the natural branches have also brought forth evil fruit. And it came to pass that they went down into the nether parts of the vineyard, and it came to pass that they beheld that the fruit of the natural branches had become corrupt also. And yea, the first and the second, and also the last, and they had all become corrupt. Why? Do you know why? You guys don't know why. No, I have a funny thing. Do you know why? Do you know why? Oh, I don't know why. It's Nancy's fault. Yeah, yeah. It's Nancy's fault. I'm sure of it. Is it you? Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. Behold, I knew that all the fruit of the vineyard, save it were these, had become corrupted. Oh, these are corrupted. Who's corrupted his vineyard? You? Yeah. Well, and the wild fruit of the last had overcome that part of the tree which brought forth good fruit, even that the branch had withered away and died. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard wept. He said unto his servant, that branch, do you remember that branch? Remember it was bringing forth. Remember how proud I was? Remember? You seen it, Ryan? You saw it. You didn't see it. Why? It's withered away and it's died. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard wept and said unto his servant, what could I have done more for my vineyard? What could I have done? What could I have done? Why? It's a branch now. It's part of the tree. Yes. He can't reach in that part of the tree. Everything's withered. You see it? Yeah. I have to go into somebody else's yard to get around that tree to get what I want. On the other side. That's okay, right? No, that's not okay. I take great pride in this tree. I want everyone to come over and to take on it. Right. They will come to my house and say, oh, there's an olive tree. Right, he's gonna have a party. He's gonna have a party, man. There's 3 festivals that tree should be prepared for. If he's a Jew. And then there's his birthday, his daughter's birthday, his son's birthday. People are going to come over for those birthdays. Some more good times. You know, they say that when a man has a bunch of daughters or sons, and a woman has a bunch of daughters or sons, they have a lot of good times. You agree? Yes, I do agree. And they want to invite the choicest of their friends for this because they find joy in these people. They've been aggravating and assaulting each other all year long. They don't have to now. Behold. I knew that all the fruit of the vineyard, save it were these, have become corrupted, and now these, which have once brought forth good fruit, have also become corrupted, and now all the trees of the vineyard are good for nothing, save it being to hewn down and cast into the fire. I'm going to burn this whole damn wood down. Everything. I'm not going to just burn that tree. There's a famine here. I'm going to burn it down. Now, you go out and you get turpentine. And you get me about 5,000 gallons of it. And you go out and you spray turpentine all over these trees. I don't want these trees. You understand me? Yes. I don't want these trees. And behold, the last whose branch hath withered away, I did plant in a good spot of ground, yea, even that which was choice unto me above all the parts of the land of my vineyard. And thou beholdest that I also cut down that which encumbered this spot of ground, that I might plant this tree in the stead thereof. Why? How would I do that? And thou beholdest that a part thereof brought forth good fruit, and a part thereof brought forth wild fruit. And because I plucked not the branches thereof and cast them into the fire, behold, they have overcome the good branch, that it hath withered away. It's a bad branch. Beelzebub? Devil worship? Too much worship? Yeah. Yes, of course. I plucked not the branches thereof and cast them into the fire. Behold, they have overcome the good branches, and hath withered away. And now, behold, notwithstanding all the care which have been taken of the vineyard, my vineyard, the trees thereof have become corrupted, and they bring forth no good fruit. And these I have hoped to preserve, to have laid up fruit thereof against the season unto mine own self. But behold, they have become like unto the wild olive tree, and they are of no worth, but to be hewn down and cast into the fire. It grieveth me that I should lose them. So he's not going to go into the seasons and enjoy himself like he thought he was, right? Okay. You got spring, autumn, fall, and summer, right? Yeah, he's not going to enjoy those. In some places they have 5 or 6 seasons, but here they have 4. Suppose it never used to have 5 or 6. Snow. Okay. You didn't do that, huh? No, I didn't think that. Okay. So, good job. They both did. And now behold, notwithstanding all the care which we have taken of my vineyard, and the trees thereof have become corrupted, and they bring forth no good fruit, and these I have hoped to preserve, to have laid up fruit thereof against the season unto mine own self. But behold, they have become like unto the wild olive tree, and they are of no worth, but to be cast down, to be hewn down, and to be cast into the fire. And agree with me that I should lose them. Okay. He doesn't want to lose you. So now what? But what could I have done more in my vineyard? Have I slackened mine hand? Not that I have not nourished it? Nay, I have nourished it, and I have digged about it, and I have pruned it, and I have dunged it, and I have stretched forth mine hand amongst all the day long, and the end draweth nigh. And it grieveth me that I should hewn down all the trees of my vineyard, and cast them into the fire, that they should be burned. Who is it that this corrupted my vineyard? Somebody corrupted the vineyard. Now he's looking for the who might have done it. Because he doesn't want to lose any of you. He's going to look elsewhere now. Who did this? And it came to pass that the servant said to his master, it is not the lawfulness of thy vineyard, have not the branches thereof overcome the roots which are good. And because the branches have overcome the roots thereof, behold, they grew faster than the strength of the roots, taking strength unto themselves. Behold, I say, is not this the cause that the trees of thy vineyard have become corrupted? In other words, these trees got too strong. Their strength is more than the other trees, any other tree. It's too strong. No good. It's got a power behind it. And it's corrupting everything. It's no good. Right? Right? I say, is not this the cause of the trees of the vineyard have become corrupted? And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, let us go to and hew down the trees of the vineyard and cast them into the fire, that they shall not cumber the ground of my vineyard. For I have not done all. What could I have done more for my vineyard? But behold, the servant said unto the Lord of the vineyard, Spirit a little longer, please. Spirit a little longer, please. Give me a chance at this. Let me bring in something, because this vineyard is very, very, very prejudiced. It's one-minded. It judges other vineyards. It judges other trees. When other trees come to help it wants to hurt it. We didn't bring the tree in to change its religion. We brought the tree in to help it. They worship the same God. Maybe a different denomination. No. But there are 7 spirits before the throne of God. If you were bleeding on the floor, dying, you wouldn't have told it no. But because you're healthy and you're doing good, you're going to tell it no. This is wrong. But behold, the servant said unto the Lord, Spirit a little longer. And the Lord said, Yea, I will spare it a little longer, for agree with me that I should lose the trees of my vineyard. Wherefore, let us take of the branches of these trees, which I have planted in the uttermost parts of the vineyard, and let us graft them into the tree from whence they came, and let us pluck from the tree of those branches whose fruit is more bitter, and graft it in the natural branches of the tree and the seed thereof. And this will I do, that the tree may not perish, that perhaps I may preserve unto myself the roots thereof for mine own purpose. And behold, the roots of the natural branches of the tree, which I planted whithersoever I would, are yet alive. And wherefore, that I may preserve them also for mine own purpose, I will take of the branches of this tree, and I will graft them into them. Yea, I will graft it into them the branches of their mother tree, that I may preserve the roots also unto mine own self, that when they shall be sufficiently strong, perhaps they may bring forth good fruit unto me, and I may have glory in the fruit of my vineyard. I wouldn't do that either. Okay, let's see what happens. What happens now. And it came to pass that they took from the natural tree, which had become wild, and grafted into the natural trees which had also become wild. And they also took of the natural trees which had become wild, and grafted into their mother tree. And the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, Pluck not the wild branches from the tree. save it be those which are most bitter. And in them ye shall graft according to that which I have said. And we will nourish again the trees of the vineyard, and we will trim up the branches thereof, and we will pluck from the trees those branches which are ripened, that must perish, and cast them into the fire. So we're going to cast them more into the fire. Okay, so we cast some of Ephesus into the fire. We're going to cast some of Smyrna into the fire. That's not fair. No. We'll pass Smyrna. We'll go to Pergamum and Thyatira. No? We'll do as God says. And this I do, that perhaps the roots thereof may take strength because of their goodness, and because of their change of the branches, that the good may overcome the evil. And because that I have preserved the natural branches and the roots thereof, and that I have grafted in the natural branches again into their mother tree, and have preserved the roots of their mother tree, that perhaps the trees of my vineyard may bring forth again good fruit, that I may have joy again, the fruit of my vineyard, and perhaps that I may rejoice exceedingly that I have preserved the roots and the branches of the first fruit. Wherefore go to and call the servants, that we may labor diligently with our might in the vineyard, that we may prepare the way, that I may bring forth again the natural fruit, which natural fruit is good and the most precious above all other fruit. Wherefore let us go and to labor with our might this last time, for behold, the end draweth nigh, and this is for the last time that I shall prune my vineyard. So there, the fourth, fifth, candle. Graft in the branches, begin at the last, that they may be first, and the first that they may be last, and dig about the trees, both old and young, and the first and the last, and the last and the first, and all may be nourished once again for the last time. The dung in it. The dung in it, and they get to urinate in it, and all that stuff, because basically that's what's necessary. Okay? I know it's gross, but it's true. Yours, I got the trees, it's not. I think it is. It's not going to hurt it. It may not hurt it. It's not good. I don't know. Water's good for that. Okay, so we'll piss on the tree then. Oh, what you do? I urinate, yes. I would. Who's your urinate? Urinate there? It's good for trees. Oh, yes, it is. I know that for a fact. My horse used to urinate all over the tree every time it did. I only helped it. That tree. And that sounds funny, but little branches started to grow to the side when they urinated. Oh, that is good for the tree. I don't know why. Little branches grow up on the side of the tree. Maybe that's what it needs. It needs something male. Yeah. I have my friends. Yes, I understand that. Wherefore let us go and to labor with our might this last time, for behold, the end draweth near. Grab the branches. Wherefore dig about them. And as they begin to grow, ye shall clear away the branches which bring forth bitter fruit, according to the strength of the good and the size thereof, and ye shall not clear away the bad thereof all at once, lest the roots thereof should be too strong for the graft, and the graft thereof shall perish. Now lose the trees of my vineyard. For it grieveth me that I should lose the trees of my vineyard. Wherefore ye shall clear away the bad according as the good shall grow. Let the root and the top may be equal in strength, until the good shall overcome the bad. And the bad he hewn down and cast into the fire, that they cumber not the ground of my vineyard, and thus will I sweep away the bad out of my vineyard. And the branches of the natural tree will I graft in again into the natural tree, and the branches of the natural tree will I graft into the natural branches of the tree, and thus will I bring them together again, that they shall bring forth the natural fruit, and they shall be one. And the bad shall be cast away, yea, even out of all the land of my vineyard, for behold, only this once will I prune my vineyard. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard sent his servant, and the servant went and did as the Lord had commanded him, and brought other servants, and they were few. And the Lord of the vineyard said unto them, Go to and labor in the vineyard with your might, for behold, this is the last time that I shall nourish my vineyard, for the end is nigh at hand, and the season speedily cometh. And if ye labor with your might with me, ye shall have joy in the fruit which I shall lay up unto myself against the time which will soon come. My apologies. God bless you. And it came to pass that the servants did go and labor with their mights, and the Lord of the vineyard labored also with them, and they did obey the commandments of the Lord of the vineyard in all things, and there began to be the natural fruit again in the vineyard, and the natural branches began to grow and thrive exceedingly, and the wild branches began to be plucked off and to be cast away, and they did keep the root and the top thereof equal according to the strength thereof. And thus they labored with all diligence according to the commandments of the Lord of the vineyard, even until the bad had been cast away out of the vineyard, and the Lord had preserved unto himself that the trees become again the natural fruit. And they became like unto one body, and the fruits were equal, and the Lord of the vineyard had preserved unto himself the natural fruit, which was most precious unto him from the beginning. And it came to pass that when the Lord of the vineyard saw that his fruit was good, and that his vineyard was no more corrupt, he called up his servants and said unto them, Behold, for this last time have we nourished my vineyard, and now behold that I have done according to my will, and I have preserved the natural fruit, that it is good, even like as it was in the beginning. And blessed art thou, for because ye have been diligent in laboring with me in the vineyard, and have kept my commandments, and have brought unto me again the natural fruit, that my vineyard is corrupted is no more corrupted, and the bad is cast away. Behold, ye shall have joy with me because of the fruit of my vineyard. For behold, for a long time will I lay up the fruit of my vineyard, even unto my own self against the season, which speedily cometh, and for the last time have I nourished my vineyard. That was wrong. And pruned it, and dug about it, and dunged it. Wherefore I will lay up unto mine own self of the fruit for a long time, according to that which I have spoken. And when the time cometh that evil fruit shall again come into my vineyard, then will I cause the good and the bad to go and be gathered. And the good will I preserve unto myself, and the bad will I cast away unto its own place. And then cometh the season and the end of my vineyard, and will I cause to be burned with fire. This is College Classic Campus Hits. Somebody owes me an apology. Amen.